Welcome to Ghosted by the Machine, the podcast where job seekers break through the noise and the bots. 5 questions, 5 minutes, no filters, and no fluff. Just real stories from the front lines of the job hunt. I'm your host, Mark Lane. Today's guest is Jennifer Fessler, PhD from Yukon, Oklahoma, who's currently looking for a role as a solution architect and product strategist. Welcome, Jennifer, to the show.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate being here.
So tell us a little about yourself, who you are, what kind of work you're looking for, and how long have you been on the job hunt?
So I'm going to start first with being on the job hunt. So that's been 2.5 months. And so for a lot of people, that's not as long as they've been on the job hunt. But for me, it's been long enough. I think everybody would say 2 months is, well, they would love to find a job in 2 months. To go back a little bit about my background, though, I kind of have to go a bit further back than most people might go. And that's like when I got my first degree in music. And so I finished my first degree in music because I was going to have a little boy, and I decided to focus on being a mom. And I didn't really actually want to do the career route at first. I wanted to be a mom and make sure he had the best home environment possible. And that was a bit of a struggle. And along the way, I found out he was diagnosed with ADHD and autism. And this opened up this whole world to me that I didn't know about, even though I should have because it's all over my family. And I really learned about neurodiversity and the challenges that crop up with that, and how if I had the knowledge that I had at that moment back when I was a kid, then there's things that we could have done to actually make our lives better. And so with that knowledge in hand, I got this really deep interest in neuroscience and actually how the brain works and what motivates behavior and all those systems thinkings about biology. And so I went back to school, got a chemistry degree. Couldn't get a job with the chemistry doing something I liked, and so I went on and got the PhD in cell biology. Focus was a neurobiology project. And I loved academia for a long time. I was in school for way too long and really enjoyed it. However, I decided I was kind of done with academia, and I wanted to move on to industry where there's a lot more options. And so I ended up at Boeing being a certification analyst, and I was there for almost a year, and then furloughs hit. And then I get this call from this company, General Genomics. And I was so excited, and so I started working with them. They're a startup building biological problems with AI solutions.
So from your perspective, AI, has it helped or hurt your job search, and why?
So there's 2 ways about it. For me personally, it's helped. It's helped me develop a strategy. It's helped me develop priorities. It's helped me develop my resume, my presentation, my cover letters. You know, I basically don't have to write those suckers anymore. I can give it my voice, I can give it the prompt, I can give it the information, and it just writes it, and I give it the job description, so now it's suited to the job description. So for me personally, it's really amplified my ability to turn around and apply for jobs quickly. However, that's not helped me alone, it's helped everybody, right?
Right.
And so now there's a lot of people in the system, and I think AI has really harmed the hiring process because now everybody can have a perfect resume. I literally talked to a recruiter not too long ago, and he told me that there was a person trying to hire for a job. He had 10 wonderful applicants. Everybody was perfect, had 10 interviews, and none of them could talk about what was actually on the resume. This is the problem, is that, yeah, maybe you got the interview, but you can't do the job. You can't talk about the job because you're not really knowledgeable enough. And so we have to be honest about what we can do and present ourselves the best way possible. But it's like it's a race to the best resume because you want to get that interview. You think once you get to that interview, then it's all golden from there, and it's just not. I mean, we're still getting ghosted by recruiters after interviews even.
So what would you consider your secret skill or superpower that doesn't come through on a resume?
So my last boss told me that I spent the first month at my job at General Genomics finding all the dead bodies. And at the point, it was a criticism that I wasn't focused on what I needed to be doing. But on the other hand, I see that as a compliment because I walk into a place of work or an organization and I start looking for the power dynamics. Who makes the decisions? Who's talking at the water cooler? You know, who's having coffee breaks? Who goes to lunch together? You know, who has those phone calls? If they're talking about what they're doing after work and those conversations that happen outside of job time. Who goes to get drinks together? Who gets drunk together? Well, all of those things are signals about who's talking and who's making decisions. And you have to understand where you fit in that dynamic. I mean, the whole organization is a system, and you have to understand how the system works so you can understand how you work within it and how you can work with it. And so then that enables you to solve problems. You can see the gaps and the friction and the problems where they're happening, and then really bring those to light. And that's really hard to show on a resume.
So if you could say one honest thing to recruiters or hiring managers right now, what would it be?
That my resume doesn't show who I really am. It shows what I did, but not what I'm capable of. My resume makes me look like I'm a PhD desperate to get out of academia, and that I job hop and I'm too ambitious, and that's not me at all. I've been trying to find that place of security where I can settle down and do really good, meaningful, impactful work. And it's just trying to find that place. I learned fast, I learned quick, and that's actually why there's a lot of short stints there, is that I was able to make a really big impact really quickly. Because I focused on understanding the organization and the needs first before I just started doing my job. And that takes a little bit of runway and a little bit of time to really get acclimated to the place where you're at. So it might look slow up front, but it builds up steam as I get to know more.
So despite all of the challenges, what's keeping you hopeful right now?
It's almost like hopeful's the wrong word. It's something has to move. You keep working. And it's actually about probability a little bit, I think. And I don't want to say it may be getting lucky. So everybody tells you network is king. You got to have a network. You got to know people. But getting to know people takes time. You can't just do that overnight. Oh, I found a job there. I like that company. Oh, I'm a great fit. Oh, I got to go talk to those people and let them know. Oh, they don't know me yet, and they don't even want to talk to me. And most of the people I want to talk to are introverts, and so they're definitely not going to return your connection request to chat for 15 minutes. I'm like, that's just not in their forte. So you have to believe a little bit, have faith in the process. That if I get out there and I talk to enough people, I know I have a lot of worth and a lot of capabilities, but somebody has to see it because it doesn't show on my paper.
Okay. Well, Jennifer, this has been an amazing conversation. I really appreciate you coming on today. And if anyone out there is looking for someone like Jennifer, who's amazing track record, please check out her LinkedIn profile. It'll be in the show notes. If you want to be on the podcast, email me, DM me, or comment on LinkedIn or our social platforms. We are always looking for the real voices in this ghost town of job search silence. This is Ghosted by the Machine. Let's make hiring human again. Thank you again, Jennifer, for being on the show. You were wonderful.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.